Brand new news is just in from BYD. They have 400,000 people waiting for their cars right now, and they're hoping to deliver 2 million electric cars this year. That is insane, and a lot more than we previously thought they were capable of doing. Things are changing insanely quickly at BYD. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking. Great to see you here. Today, I met someone at the Tesla delivery center here in Melbourne, Victoria, who was picking up their Tesla Model 3. His friend there had ordered a BYD Atto 3 and was waiting for them to arrive, as I am as well, in July of this year. When it arrives, I'll tell you guys exactly what it's like. I'll tell you the whole truth, by the way. So BYD are obviously planning on becoming a global brand. They're already in the process of selling their cars in actually a lot of different countries that you probably haven't heard of. Caribbean, Brazil, other parts of South America. They're already in India. They're already in Norway, coming to different parts of Europe this year. Big expansion plans. Obviously, Australia, the UK is coming soon as well. Pretty exciting stuff, really. Exciting because why? Well, because it means you can get an affordable electric car. In China, they sell their EVs at incredibly affordable prices. I mean, not all of them are. Some of them are higher priced cars, depending on the model. But, for example, a vehicle very similar to the Toyota Corolla, but clearly better in every measurable, real way, BYD Dolphin, right? Costs $14,000 US. For a car of similar size to a Toyota Corolla with a BYD Blade battery pack. That's the reason why so many people are buying them, right? They're on par with internal combustion engine prices, literally on par. Now, the exciting news is I have a new video coming up soon showing you exactly what I've been talking about, and not just giving you ideas, concepts, but the facts. The facts are lithium iron phosphate batteries are improving in energy density. In fact, the energy density that one Chinese company is working on shows lithium iron phosphate batteries can actually be more energy dense than lithium ternary batteries, which is insane and a complete changing of what we previously thought was possible. Another advantage BYD has, right? And currently they actually supply, or are in the process of supplying 8 different auto companies with their lithium iron phosphate and their lithium ternary batteries, by the way. Ford in China uses their lithium ternary batteries. Ford, I have no idea why you're doing that. Why? It doesn't make sense. Customers want LFP. They do. Look at China. Look at the Chinese car market. Give them what they want. Anyway, new information that just came from BYD's meeting within the last few hours said the current trend of rising raw material prices is slowing down, and lithium carbonate prices will not have an effect on new energy vehicle sales this year for BYD if they remain at the current level. And obviously BYD have a big advantage here this year. They don't need nickel for their batteries, period. Yes, lithium ternary batteries use them that they're using for Ford. That's less than 5% of the batteries they manufacture though. So almost all the batteries they make don't use nickel. They use lithium, iron, and phosphate. Therefore, they're not being affected by these incredible increases in battery costs. Yes, I know lithium costs have gone up, but it's not as significant as what you think. BYD are now saying, according to cnevpost.com, they believe that it's possible that this year, 40% of all cars sold in China could be electric. 40% this year in the world's largest car market. If this isn't mega disruption happening right before our very eyes at an incredible pace, I don't know what is. That's more than double last year's percentage. More than double. Well over. BYD, they give pretty accurate numbers. They're not ones to exaggerate. They're very, very, very realistic. And if they're saying this, I think there's a good chance it's going to happen. BYD are saying they expect to sell a minimum of 1.5 million vehicles in 2022 if supply chain conditions don't improve at all. But their sales are expected to reach more than 2 million this year, according to the minutes of the meeting. In other words, they want to try and deliver 2 million vehicles this year if they can. And the key here is if they can. As you probably know, they have a huge factory in China that will be opening within the next couple of months. It's essentially a gigafactory to build electric cars for BYD. In addition, they're investing and have started building a gigafactory to build batteries, just batteries, in China this year. Now, unfortunately, that factory didn't start until this year, so it won't be finished until towards the end of the year. But it's going to give BYD 100 gigawatt hours of batteries when it opens. That is insane. You can imagine that their target of 3.5 million vehicle sales in 2025, they might even hit that potentially in late 2023 in terms of their run rate, and actually hit that target of 3.5 million EVs sold in 2024. At least that's what I think is more than likely, considering the current rate at which they are expanding. One really cool thing that's happened lately as well is BYD started to release new versions of their current vehicles. The only real changes are, well, that they come with a improved blade battery pack. What are the improvements? Energy density has improved. In fact, the old BYD electric Han had just over 600 kilometers of range on the NEDC cycle, so not really real world. But anyway, gives us a good way of looking at a measuring stick. 615 kilometers. The new version has 715. That's a pretty big improvement. If we see those kinds of improvements across all their models, that will be huge for customers. For the full year of 2021, BYD's new energy vehicle sales, in other words, plug-in hybrids and electric cars, was 603,783 units, an increase of 218% from 2020. That included around about a 45% mix of purely electric cars and around about just under a 42% mix of plug-in hybrids. However, BYD's plug-in hybrids, I'm not a fan of plug-in hybrids. I think they're a stopgap measure, and I think resale value is going to be pretty poor on them. But if you're going to buy one, they're probably the ones to buy, because some of them have around 200 kilometers of range. There's lots of plug-in hybrids with a ridiculous 30 kilometers of range. What are you going to do with that? It's a joke. But literally, BYD, a lot of them have their new hybrid technology, which has up to literally 200 kilometers of range, which I think is pretty good. Now, last year, BYD said to investors, right, it would sell up to 1.2 million new energy vehicles in 2022. Well, now that's changed. It's now 1.5 million. And they're saying they're going to get 2 million sales this year or more. In other words, they want to try and hit 2 million this year. If they can do that, well, that would make them the second largest electric vehicle company on the face of the earth. Because remember, we're talking pure electric vehicles here. Of those 2 million, or of those 1.5 million, around about 50% of those cars will be purely electric. The rest will be plug-in hybrids. BYD has essentially stopped manufacturing internal combustion engine vehicles this year. So we're only seeing tiny, minuscule numbers of those still being delivered to customers. BYD didn't actually directly say what their target figure is for this year. Now, obviously they said 1.2 million at least when they spoke of a target figure last year. Now they're saying 1.5. But they're also saying they've got 2 million orders. They're going to have 2 million orders this year. And they're saying they've got 400,000 customers waiting right now. That is incredible demand for their cars. And that's in spite of the fact that they have increased prices recently, just because they can. They said it was raw material costs, but realistically, I think it's primarily because they can. Maybe there's a bit of raw material costs as well. Anyway, the good news is here that BYD will become a global brand. And if you're in the US or Europe or Canada or wherever you are, pretty good chance within the next few years, you'll be able to buy an affordable electric car. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again on the next one. Bye-bye.